Good morning, guys. Do I still have that on my mouth? It's Monday. I think the 17th or the 18th or something like that. The grind doesn't know which day of the week it is. What did you guys think of the collab? Did you like the collab? What do you guys think about James? Anyways, guys, I stayed up till like 2:30 last night editing the collab video, so I've got a headache. Gotten all the work done today that I wanted to get done, but don't feel like filming a whole lot. But I'm gonna go to the gym, do a little bit, just enough to wet my whistle with some weights, and yeah, probably gonna do a little bit of overhead pressing, a little bit of Pendlay rows, maybe a little bit of arms. I'm not really completely sure. I'm just gonna get in the gym and try to get a good, somewhat programmed workout in. What is going on, guys? It is Wednesday, October 19th. Wednesday, October 19th. Focus. You're not gonna focus. Today, I wanted to do something a little different because diversity, right, babe? I wanted to talk about content distribution, and how I think the world is going to go in the next 10 years. And I'm going to tie this into my past. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but back in 2013, I was a fitness YouTuber. Back in 2013, I was watching guys like Nick Wright. He was kind of like the big kid on YouTube. Christian Guzman. Some of the guys we watch now, they were like just starting their YouTube channels, and so was I. But thing is, I was just getting into acting. I wanted to be into film. I wanted to be in cinema, I wanted to be in movies, I wanted to be an actor, I wanted to learn how to be on the other side of the camera, I wanted to learn cinematography. I did. I learned acting, I learned cinematography pretty well. I did about 3.5, almost 4 years of acting class, and within that 3 or 4 years of acting class, I literally did rehearsals like every single day. I learned everything you possibly could about acting. I was in love with the art of acting, and I'm still in love with acting. I will always be in love with acting and cinema as long as I am alive. But here's why I like YouTube. I've done both. I did YouTube back when I think I was 17, 18, I was younger. I've done YouTube several times. In 2013, it was the beginning of my fitness channel. I always used to come up to the camera and be like, "What's going on? This is Jordan Miller from Young and Driven Fitness," and most likely most of you guys didn't watch me back then, but the guys that did, some of them actually liked it, but like it feels so cheesy looking back on it. I really didn't know what I was doing. That was when I was first starting to become an actor, and I was just like, dang. So I felt like I was doing things for the wrong reason. I was like, alright, I'm acting on here. Clearly I have a passion for this, so let me get off of YouTube and stop being fake on here and go actually pursue acting and film. So I quit right then, found a small acting studio, and started taking acting classes. And I did that for a while. I've done over 100 auditions. I am with Evolution Talent Agency out of Charlotte, North Carolina. They are still my agent. I still do auditions if they pertain to fitness, but if not, I don't. But I'm still affiliated with Evolution Charlotte. So yeah, that's my agent. I've done acting classes in several renowned acting classes around here in the area. My favorite acting class was Film Actors Studio, and I had a teacher named Lon Bumgardner. Freaking amazing teacher. But thing that I learned after about 4 years of acting is no matter where you go in your career, you never get to pick your content. You never get to pick what you're going to talk about, what you're going to film about. You kind of have to build around what they want. And I have no issue with that. It's just that after 100 to 150 auditions, not once, like maybe there were a couple times where I auditioned for things that I actually wanted to do and I loved it and I was just like, if I could do this all the time, I would be on top of the world. That should tell you something right there. If I could do the things that I want to do all the time, I'd be on top of the world, right? The auditions that I really like to do, but that was only about 2% of the time. So I was working my ass off, like rehearsing and like memorizing lines and getting into character and all this stuff 90% of the time for characters that I didn't want, just so that I could book the roles and build my resume. And I've got like a 3-page resume of like short films and small lower budget movies and commercials that I've done. I even auditioned for the Super Bowl last year. There was a commercial where there was a guy who robbed a house. I think it was like a CPI security commercial, and he threw the gnome or something at the window, and I forget which football player was it, but it was a football player that caught the ball. I actually got beat out by one spot. That was going to be me, but I got beat out by one guy on that commercial. That was like my breaking point for acting. I was like, I was pretty sure that I was going to get hired, but basically I was too short and too muscular. They hired a taller guy. But they liked the way I did it, so I think they kind of used the way I kind of reinvented things and used that, but they used someone else's face because they liked the face and the height. And so acting is this industry where in the long run it's predicated on your skill and your craft and how well you can get into character and how well you can fit into the story of the vastness of an actual film, because as an actor you're not storytelling, you're part of the story that's being told. That's where a lot of actors go wrong. They try to be storytellers. Acting is not storytelling. Directing and cinematography is storytelling. Acting is being part of a story and being a good part of a story. Basically what acting is, it's not faking, it's not really acting. Acting is basically tricking the subconscious mind into believing that you are this person at this point in his life at this moment. And the reason that I was so addicted to it is freaking intoxicating. Imagine just for a moment that you're able to not think about Facebook, not think about Instagram, not think about any of your problems, like you're not even you, you're not even yourself, you're this character, you're in this character's shoes, you're in this story, and it is intoxicating because it's almost like meditation acting. It's like you turned your mind off. But the camera's there filming you. You're performing for the other side of the camera. But the thing about it is, the only time I could get into that feeling, into that spot, was in acting class. I never auditioned for the things that got me that way. I picked the things that I wanted for acting class and loved it. And guys, eventually in the distant future, when this starts to do well for me, just like Javon's starting to do covers with his music and Christian's starting to get back into guitar, my pastime thing was acting, and I'll get back into it, and then you'll probably see it mixed into the channel. That'll be like when I have lots more subs than I have now, and hopefully in 2 or 3 years from now, which hopefully in 2 or 3 years from now I can be coming up on that 100,000 mark. That is the goal. That is the goal. Anyways, this correlates to YouTube because basically, I feel like 2016 to 2025, YouTube is going to become the new cinema. I don't want to say that completely. It's just that market share is starting to divide away from like cinema, like going to an actual movie theater, down to like got Netflix and Hulu Plus, and that's even kind of streaming into YouTube. Because we are our own content creators now. Back 30, 40 years ago, you couldn't just go and create your own content and have other people go and watch you. You had to get with the studio, you had to get all this expensive equipment, and we've trended towards, instead of a studio, instead of a big company being a content creator, we are the creators. Like anybody can just get on YouTube and start a YouTube channel. Because of that, YouTube's became much more saturated, and the barrier of entry by nature is getting much harder to break into. But the people that know what they want, the people that know what they're doing, the people that are going to go far on YouTube are the people that are content creators, but now they see this opportunity to create their own content without any barriers, without anyone saying, you have to be this person or be this character in this setting. You can do whatever you want. You can create whatever kind of content you want. And breaking through that boundary, it gives you the ability to do all the things, like literally take your imagination to the next level in a way that wouldn't be possible without an era with YouTube. So basically guys, what I'm saying is, I think by 2020, 2025, it's really going to be a thing where YouTubers are like the new actors. People are going to look at the big YouTubers with like 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 million to like however high they get, 20, 30, 40, 50 million, as like the new actors that they can relate to. We'll always relate to cinematic movies, and I'll always be the hugest fan ever to cinema. It will never die because there is a need for it, there is a place for it. But when you watch a movie, it's like it's over. After the movie is over, you can relate to it, but at the same time, it's heightened life. It's not life, it's heightened life. YouTube is life. What's on YouTube really happens. So we can look up to these people on YouTube because we could actually really be like that. We could really strive to take inspiration from these people. We could really do something similar to what they're doing because it's real life. It's not a movie, it's real life. Yes, a lot of the highlights are filmed. Yes, there's a lot of editing. Yes, sometimes there's cinematic editing. Yes, sometimes there's lifestyle editing. But it's real life. These YouTubers that we watch, they go through hell and back to get where they're going. They have good relationships, failed relationships, these beautiful moments, these not so beautiful moments. And as content creators, that's what we can provide for the other people that are watching us and trying to become inspired to just like live life and get better at their jobs, get better at their careers, get in better shape, be better at loving, be better at giving, be better at receiving. We have the power to do that. We have the power to affect people like only actors had the power to do before. And that's kind of why I stopped acting and got back into YouTube. I'm not looking at YouTube as like I'm gonna hold the camera up all the time and make videos. I'm looking at it the same way as I looked at cinema back when I was in acting, as how can I put this piece of content out every day that's a little different than yesterday. Every single time each video is going to be a little bit different than every video. I want every thumbnail to greatly represent how the video is going to flow. I want the title to be very catchy and draw you in and make sense. And I want the video to flow according to the mood of that day. I don't want to like try to do this or try to do that. I want it to flow according to that day, just like a really, really powerful cinematic movie would. And that is kind of where I see YouTube going, and I'm really, really excited to bring this to you guys. I've had a lot of things on my mind today, a lot of things that I wanted to talk about, but I felt like this thing right here was the most important thing that I could possibly talk about. The YouTuber is the new content creator. The YouTuber is, and don't get me wrong guys, YouTubers and actors are completely different. It's a completely different thing. You have to learn completely different things. As a YouTuber, you're being you. As an actor, you're being you, but in a heightened state of reality that doesn't really exist, but in your subconscious mind, you have thought it into existence, thought that character into existence. But don't get me wrong guys, being yourself on camera is really difficult. Possibly some of you guys that, you know, watch me or filming haven't completely gotten comfortable with the camera yet, but a lot of you guys have. But the thing is, when you're in front of the camera, you want to do things to make your life seem interesting, or like make jokes, or like do something funny, or like raise your voice really loud all the time because it's more interesting because you're being loud, or you try to come up with jokes that aren't funny, or do this or do that. And the thing that I think makes really, really great YouTubers is they're being genuinely their self. If they come up with something that would be like freaking awesome, they're like, oh, I need to do this on camera, and they do it, and it's awesome, that's cool, but you don't really try to spin the wheel and like force things to come out and be like, oh, let's, you know, going too crazy with it, and it just becomes work, and it's not meant to be work. And I don't mean it becomes work in the fact that you shouldn't be working, but if you love what you're doing, if you love YouTube, if you love creating content, if you love what you're doing, it may be work to others, but it's not work to you. So, yeah guys, I'm gonna go enjoy the rest of my day. I felt like, number one, since I don't have the kind of lifestyle like someone like Chris Jones or Guzman or Tuning or any of those guys, it gets kind of repetitive filming my entire day every day, even though I want to do daily uploads, and at the same time it burns me out, so I want to do something a little different and pretty much explain to you guys what I think is becoming of YouTube and cinema and where I think it's going and my tie into it and how I can relate to it, and hopefully you guys can relate to this video in some way. I love you guys so much. All love. That's what I just said. Until next time, guys, you are amazing. You are fam. See ya.